Hi, you guys. My name is Nicole. My social media is Nixter _. I am a business owner as well as a up and coming stylist. Check me out. I have two businesses. One is called Epical, which is a clothing brand, a clothing boutique. And the other one is Classic Collection, which is a cosmetic line.
Okay, so just tell me about your life growing up in your household, the dynamic. Do you have both parents, your siblings? Just how was it?
So in my household, it was my mom and my stepdad. It was a lot of us. My mom has 9 kids. So with that, it was like a bunch of boys, 2 girls. And then my mom always like taking people in. So we had like, just a big household. Life growing up after, how can I say it? After the age of 12 or 13, my mom was like, okay, go ask your brothers. So with that being said, I didn't have to ask her to go outside. I had to ask my brothers because for some reason she felt as if the boys, like as I got older, she was like, you know what? You just got to deal with your brothers. So I used to play my brothers against each other. I hope they don't see this because they would be so mad. Like, I would call one brother. If one brother wasn't in the house, I would call the other brother like, hey, can I go outside? If one of them said no, I'd call the other one. It's fine. Somebody's going to say yeah. Somebody's going to say yes. But for the most part, I mean, our household dynamic, we was very family oriented. I tell you that much. Yeah, sometimes didn't get along. I wanted to bust a couple of my siblings in the head, but jail doesn't look good on me, so. So when I first got my period, I was on no TMI, but I was on the toilet, and I was like, "Mom, I don't know what is this?"
Right.
She's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, I'm bleeding. It's bleeding down there. So she went to her room, got this big old maxi pad. Oh my God. First of all, that was a big pad. I'm like, you sure I'm gonna need this huge thing? This is a part of growing up. But in reference to sex, my brothers actually taught me about sex. So when my mom found out, she really didn't want to know, but she had a hint of that I was probably sexually active. So she kindly was like, oh, talk to your brothers about that. But that's the dynamic of everything. My brothers.
What is the age gap between you and your brothers, like the oldest?
Well, my oldest brother, it's 15-year age gap with the oldest one. And then I have one that's 10-year. I need to go all the way down.
No, so basically 15 years. So it's like kind of old enough to kind of be a dad in some sense, right?
Well, in my household, it was a 10-year. I was thinking about my oldest brother. The other, it was a 10-year. So.
Okay, so I'm 10 years older than my sibling. So I think he's up there asleep. But so I kind of felt motherly towards him my whole life with the 10 years.
Yeah.
So I could see that. Was your mother older than when she had you?
Yeah, my mom was pretty up in age. I think she had my brother. I don't know. My mom had her first kid when she was 20. So I don't know why she ain't stopped at the second one because the second one was a girl, but that's nonetheless. So. But how old was my mom? She was like 30. She was in her 30s. Yeah, she was in her 30s.
So by the time you were like 13, she probably was like, extra brother, I'm tired. I didn't raise how many kids.
She didn't raise how many kids, she had just had my little brother probably like a few years prior. So at this point, it was like, look, I got this toddler running around. You're 13. You got older siblings. How about they deal with you and I just deal with you, these 2 little ones? Because I still had a sister that was younger than me, so.
Or
it was definitely a mutual agreement.
That's good.
But looking back on it, if I chose, I would have waited. I would definitely be patient with yourself. It's no rush. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you only get once in a lifetime. So, but I mean, we were still. I did it once and then didn't really want to do it again because I didn't. I was like, no, I don't. So, I would definitely. You know what song helped me? Was that like Jennings, SEX. I would definitely sit down and have my daughter listen to that. Only because when you can't explain something, sometimes music helps. Sometimes it's hard to explain, but I mean, I would definitely tell my daughter, be patient. Don't rush it. You'll probably know when the time's right. And when you do know, double check to make sure you do know before you do anything. And key, wrap it up. Because I don't want to be a grandmother at a young age.
Right. No, right. So what would you offer to the narrative that a lot of young girls have sex because they feel like it will make the guy love them or choose them over other people, and like love versus lust? And
oh Lord, if you're not ready, don't do it. Always put yourself first. I mean, if he can't understand that, then that's his loss. Because if you're not comfortable with doing something, then there's no need for you to do it. If you don't feel as if, and sometimes we tend to, how can I say it? Feel like, oh my God, he's the one, he's the it guy, he's that, because, their words are just so clever. But you take your time with it, and like I said, if you're not comfortable, don't do it. You first, them last. And plus, boys have cooties.
right. Look, put that in there. Let's add this in here. But the definition of cooties.
Definition of cooties, boys.
Right. That's funny. What would you have to say?
I was just in a situationship. Those situationships. Oh, God. I guess that differentiates between love and lust. Oh, Lord, because love have you on the high. Lust have you on the high, too. But lust gives you that different type of, it's like, for the moment feel. Love's going to keep you on that high. But, for the most part, situationships, to avoid situationships, I would say be clear about what you want. Be clear about your intentions and your expectations. If a person shows you that, hey, I can't meet those expectations, because sometimes guys are upfront with you and say, hey, this is what I want, this is what I'm looking for. But when it comes to your own expectations and your boundaries, if that's not, if his expectations is not aligned with your expectations, then I say let it go. It's not worth it. It's just not. You're gonna, why cause yourself, or even cause yourself to go through any emotional, mental, I wouldn't say abuse, but any emotional, mental, like, torment to yourself, if that's not what, that's not what he wants, and he's showing you that that's not what he wants. So, I mean, sometimes their words does not match their actions. So, that being said, stick to your expectations. Don't lower them, because some people might be, oh, your expectations so high. Listen, they're my expectations. Let me live with them. And that's it.
Right. So talk about your greatest heartbreak and how you healed from it, what you learned from it, and just advice of somebody going through the same.
My greatest heartbreak. I don't know. So my greatest heartbreak is funny because my greatest heartbreak was with a guy that we're actually best friends now. So I don't know if that's a good a heartbreak turned into a friendship.
Right.
So
that's look.
Exactly. Like
somebody gonna relate to that.
Exactly. We are now best friends. That was a heartbreak because it started off while I was in high school. I was like 11th grade year, 12th grade year. We started off as friends because we started off as friends. and then it evolved into a relationship. And life happened, and he was incarcerated. He got incarcerated, and that took like a huge part of my life. So not because he was incarcerated, but it was things that came with that, being young and wanting to be, I guess you say, down.
Right. Mm-hmm.
His but being by his side and things of that nature, it took a real big toll on me. I lost weight. I was like emotionally like not there, and I was like, oh, it was just so much. But nonetheless, I broke off with that, and it actually took some time for me to heal. And we wound up just keeping in contact and communication with each other, and that's how we just kind of, our friendship even became even more stronger. So as of right now, we are just best friends, and he's currently still incarcerated. So that's it.
So was your dad in your life growing up? You said you lived with your stepfather.
So my dad was around, but he was not, how can I say it? Physically, like he was, my dad was around. He was just not like actively in my life. He would come visit. My dad had this thing where, listen, I pay child support. I ain't gotta. But my dad was my dad. He was just, and it's funny because my dad is currently in a nursing home, so I'm now my dad's caregiver. So that actually has brought us really, really close. So happy about that.
That's funny because my dad was in and out, and we're really close now.
Yeah.
And that's so weird how that happened.
Yeah, it's like.
But it speaks to forgiveness.
Yep.
And
honestly, since nobody else wanted to step in, I just was like, I can't just let my father linger by the wayside. So it took a lot, because it was like, I'm the youngest one. I want to still have fun. I want to do this, do that. But now when I do things, I have to like think about my father. I have to be like, oh, okay, you know what? I gotta do this, do that. I mean, like you said, it speaks for forgiveness. I didn't hate my father for him not being there, because I had my brothers. So it wasn't like I hated him for not being there. I mean, he was in and out. I mean, he was drinking a lot, so
right.
So he was always in and out. But I didn't really resent him for that, because it was like, as much as they say a girl needs her father, which is true, I had a bunch of brothers, so I was like, I could have considered them to be my dad or my father figures, because they taught me, the ropes to the ins and outs of life and things of that nature. So
no problem.
I will say issues. Well, yeah, that me not really having my father around, I want to say it affected some aspects of my relationships, but I wouldn't. Okay, let me be quick. The way I was raised with my brothers, that affected many of my relationships. I wouldn't say many, but my last relationship, it affected that. It affected the way I thought about guys. I was always taught to, sounds weird, don't use your heart. Go with what you feel. Use your head. Don't let anybody play with your emotions. If anything, what's that saying they say? Get the guys before they get you. Is that even a saying? Well, however you say it.
Right.
But don't let someone play on your feelings. If anything, play on theirs.
Right.
So
it was more like male emotions.
Exactly. Exactly. How males do females. That's how I was brought up to be, unfortunately. The disclaimer. If you see any of my brothers, they're not like that.
Right. No, it's just I don't think they're coming from a bad place.
Yeah.
I think they just know how other guys are. Right.
So it was mainly protect yourself and protect your heart, because guys are not the best. So for the most part, it affected plenty of my relationships. I honestly didn't break that cycle until I was probably like an adult, like recently. I am an adult, but I was like recently, I was like, I noticed like, yeah, Nicole, it's time to let that part go. So, I was 16, and I looked in the mirror, I was like, that girl is pretty cool. I mean, we all have our insecurities. I think that when I was 16, 15, my biggest insecurity probably was my skin, my skin complexion. And that wasn't to say, oh, I didn't feel like I was pretty. The biggest joke was, you're so black, you're so dark, and things of that nature. So it kind of, at times it rubbed me the wrong way. And then especially when you take pictures and flash not on, so you're just dark. So that was a big part of my growth, I guess you can say. Because after a while, I was just like, girl, you hot stuff. Girl, you is fine. You listen, they say blacker the berry, sweeter the juice. Listen, I was dark chocolate, milk chocolate, whatever you want to call it, just chocolate. And guess what? I love it now. Can't tell me nothing.
Right. And talk to the girl that doesn't feel like, she looks in the mirror, she doesn't like what she sees. Like she's basing her worth off of the perception of others. So just speak to that girl.
It's gonna be times where you just don't feel your best, don't feel as beautiful. You're gonna hear like little slurs, especially if how can I say it? It's always gonna be somebody that maybe doesn't like you, doesn't care too much about you, doesn't care about your appearance, your face wise, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you gotta, always be confident in yourself. Confidence is key. That's what I've learned. Confidence is very, very crucial in life, because if you don't have confidence, it's like, but then building a self-confidence is key as well. So with that being said, how can I say? Girl, listen, tell yourself every day in the mirror, like, I got this, I'm bomb, I don't care what nobody else thinks about me. I'm going to love myself. Girl, at times I be giving myself the hugs like, Love on yourself. My thing is, I have the same. Love on yourself and others properly. So the key to loving on yourself is, we make mistakes in life. We do things and whatever, But when you love on yourself properly, it's like, when you love on yourself properly, you're loving on yourself as if you would want the same proper way you would want someone else to love on you. So when you love on yourself properly, you have no other choice but to love on others properly. That's a good way to
like that. Yes, ma'am. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's talk about the girls. This ties into that. Whose perception of beauty is based off what they see on social media. Like, we have people getting their butts done, and they want to do that, and they, it's just what they see right now. They think that that's what it is. Like, that's what they should be aiming for.
I say, thanks to Kanye's workout plan, I gotta work out tomorrow. Yeah. Right. At this point, if you want to lose a little bit of weight, Kanye's workout plan.
Right.
I mean, social media is social media. It's like no real way around it. But at the end of the day, that's like self-reflection. You just gotta love on yourself. That is into loving on yourself properly. Because trust me, you're gonna spend all that money on surgery and then gonna have to get a touch-up when it's time, when you get older. listen, I don't even know how cosmetic touch-ups go, but I mean, that's not to say, people do it because, I mean, some people do it because they genuinely want that, and some people do it because of what they see on social media. So you just, I don't know, just, if that's what you want to do it for you. That's what I can say. Don't do it for anybody else. Don't do it for the likes, as they would say. Don't do it for the gram, as they would say. But do it for you. If that's something that you really, really want, do it for you because this is what you want. Don't do it to for the social notion of, oh, I need a banging body to get the things I want. How do you say? Use what you got to get what you want. You better use your mind to get what you want. I have experienced childhood trauma. Can I skip that?
Yeah.
Oh.
So have you been to therapy?
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, let's talk about your, this journey, your therapy journey.
Oh my God.
And like how old you were when you started and all of that.
It's crazy because when I started therapy, this was years ago, and the reason I did start it is because I was going through a really bad breakup, and I also did not like my job. I literally wanted to. I got to the point where I was drinking before I went into work. I'm talking. Listen, it's gonna be 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 7 in the morning here, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere. That was my aspect. And getting out of a bad relationship, I was like, oh my God. I really didn't have anybody to talk to. And you could talk to yourself, but once you start answering yourself, then that's a problem. I didn't answer myself though. So I definitely needed somebody that was not going to be biased about anything I was going through in life, was a total stranger. And I just needed that person, like somebody that was going to listen to me and, give me some advice as to, which way to go, and not even more so which way to go, but help me understand what I was going through and what I was feeling emotionally, mentally. It was a lot, but I loved every minute of it. I actually need to go back to therapy, but that time, when I needed it the most, it definitely helped me.
So that's like one of the premises I have for letters is just for girls that have experienced childhood trauma, or as a teen, it's still childhood. Maybe lost a parent, lost a loved one, just been depressed, bullied. That if you start therapy earlier, you can start healing, and you won't take that into like relationships. So just tell them about that.
So therapy for me, it was the best outlet I probably could have chosen at that given time, because I didn't even understand why I was going to work drinking. I understood it, but I was like, I even used to take my little sippy cups, and like I'll go in the back and be like, bad idea. But
that's rude.
When I got to that point, I was like, yeah, Nicole, it's time for you to seek some real help. And the crazy thing is, I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't feel bad at all about, the notion of, oh, why are you going to therapy? Like, oh, you got real crazy problems, things of that nature. Oh, you're crazy if you got to go to therapy. No. I actually felt very good. So with therapy, it helped me heal properly. It helped me understand that especially relationship wise, it definitely helped me. It helped me from my past emotional. Can I get a tissue? I was like, oh. I didn't want to. First off, I'm a G. I don't cry.
It's okay.
But, Yeah, it helped me. It definitely helped me through one of the most trying times of my life.
So what do you say to the girl or the boy watching this who they're experiencing a lot of tough times and they want to try therapy, they've heard about it, but their family's like, we don't do that. We don't tell our business. We don't. So what would you say to the person who wants to?
Listen, that whole, we don't do that in our household, don't tell our business and all that. I'm very against that because it's things that go on in people's household that, don't. That hinders the child from being open and vocal. That's basically muting the child of being free to say what they need to say, but not even that. Tell you what's going on with them. You don't want your child to be, I can't say this because I don't know how mom or dad may react, or I don't know what may happen to this person. No, if something is going on with you or something is happening, be very open and vocal about it. Don't hinder your child from being, we don't do this in that household. We don't, like the whole thing with when kids snitch on another kid when they're playing, stop snitching. No, tell. If you see a kid doing something wrong, especially nowadays in age, like growing up, I don't believe in that. Oh, you're such a tattletale. Especially when it comes to kids growing up, because the world we live in today, I feel like that's why so much stuff happens in households, especially when it comes to childhood traumas and things of that nature, because it's, I'm scared to say something, or if I say something, will it get swept under the rug because, don't nobody want it to leak. Like, this is not TMZ. This is real life. Like, this needs to be said and this needs to be leaked because it can potentially stop this person from doing it to someone else. And it can also wake the victim up, like, look, it differentiates from this is wrong, this is bad, this is good, this is good, this is bad. So. Financial literacy. that's what
You gonna bring it.
exactly. I would say it's probably self-awareness, self-respect, dealing with self-confidence, and another life learning lesson will probably be, I want to say, financial literacy kind of falls into business and things of that nature.
Like entrepreneurship.
Yeah, entrepreneurship. Yeah,
college, because everybody
exactly,
doesn't.
because everybody doesn't. I always say that though, like a high school diploma, I feel it's for everybody, but college, listen, college isn't for everybody. It's not something that you have to go to college to be this person, that person. If you want to be a doctor or a nurse, yes, you have to. You have to go to college. If this is when you want to pursue a career, a passion for a certain career, then yes, you do have to go to college, like psychologists, nursing, doctors, things of that nature, of course. But you don't have to go to college for general education. You do not have to go to college at all for things of that nature. So yes, I do believe that financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and self-confidence, and something with self-awareness, self-respect, a class with self should definitely be incorporated. Only because, believe it or not, when you're an entrepreneur, sometimes you don't feel your best. Sometimes you want to throw in the towel, like, I'm done, I can't do this. But you gotta have that courage, that confidence. So yeah, all flows together.
Talking about financial literacy, what are some things that you know now that you wish you knew, like fresh out of high school? Or even when you had your first job or whatever?
How to use a credit card. That's one of them. I was always a little good with managing money, but I wish I knew, how to invest properly. such as like stocks and things of that nature. So yeah, money wise, I think fresh out of high school, I would say credit card wise, credit definitely.
Did you go to college, take a gap year, or go straight into the workforce?
I went to college. In reference to gap year, you mean like was it gaps between?
No, it's like when people take a year off first and then go to school. Like I'm gonna explore.
Oh no, I went straight into. It's crazy because I went straight into college after high school, but I was going to Sojourner Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
So and I was taking up nursing. So.
I do the same thing. I was thinking nursing. No, I ain't want to be no nurse.
Exactly. So I went straight into college. I didn't really want to go to Sojourner Douglas, but I had no other choice because of my certain circumstances during that given time. So that was like straight in. And then after college, which took me years, I wound up graduating. It took me a while to get into my field.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord. When I finally got into my field, which I'm grateful for, and I get my experience because I really like psychology. But yeah.
School, we talked about 15-year-old you, but in school, did you have a lot of friends? Did you consider yourself popular? Who deems who popular? And are you still friends with anybody from high school?
Oh, wow, yeah, that's a good question. Who deems who is popular? It's funny because in middle school I got voted most original. Original. But
I think that's it.
Thank you. I was like, I couldn't believe, it was funny because I couldn't believe that people voted for me most original. I was like, thank you guys. my princess. But I was like, thanks you guys. And that was in middle school. In high school, it's crazy because people gravitated to me. I don't know. I was real quiet. I was a jokester. That's probably why I named it Nixter, jokester, Nixter. But I was a jokester. I would say I knew a lot of people. How can I say? I would probably consider people in high school probably consider me popular because I knew popular people. I guess you could say the in crowd. I was at the in crowd table. I don't know. I just sat down wherever I felt comfortable.
Right.
So when it comes to popular, I don't really like using that word only because it's like, why, who said I'm not popular because I'm not sitting at the end table? Who says I'm not popular because I'm not wearing this type of clothing? I wouldn't say that I was, okay, I guess in the notion of society, I know popular people. So I am friends with a few people from high school. That's a good thing. A true friend, honestly, I would say is there when it counts the most. I guess, yeah, I would consider that a true friend. And when I say when it counts the most, it's not for things of I'm going through like some petty, how can I say it? Let me see. Yeah. When a true friend is a person that's there when it counts the most.
Right.
And if they can't be there, they show that they wish they were there. A true friend is someone that you definitely can confide in, and you don't have to worry about the understanding of you guys' relationship is always mutual and the respect is reciprocated. Being a true friend, I think that's a good thing. I think I said the right things. What I think, because for the most part, a lot of people I've had friends where I would consider them a friend, but they really weren't friends. The reciprocation was of the mutual boundaries and respect was not there, but they swore they were friends. No, baby. At this point, you're an energy drainer, and you are a life sucker, and you are. Listen, at this point, it's a no. It's a that's the door that you need to go out of.
Right.
How Beyonce said, to the left, to the left.
I love it.
Just get
Right,
on.
got to go.
How they say, speed on before you get peed on. But for the most part, yeah, friends was a good thing in life. Like a lot of people always say, oh, I don't need no friends, blah, blah. Listen, friends help you through a lot. And most of my friends have turned into my sisters. Most of my friends have turned into my brothers. Like, my friends are literally family. And then like even other people outside of that, like you know a genuine friendship when you see it, when you feel like you'll know the genuineness of this friendship and of how the person makes you feel and things of that nature. Like a friend shouldn't ever feel bad for, telling you their opinion or their outlook on what they feel about a situation that you may have presented to them. Like a friend is just, someone you can be openly honest with and just, you feel yourself around.
What would you tell your teenage self to prepare for the real world?
Be kind with yourself. Be patient with yourself. And love yourself. Because it's going to be times where you're going to get down on yourself and it's going to hit like no other. Like you may feel like the world is coming down on you. But you got to be kind. You got to be kind to yourself. And I learned that through entrepreneurship. Because, when you beat yourself up, it's like, at this point, are you beating yourself up or is a stranger beating you up? Because the way you getting down on yourself, so be kind with yourself. Be patient. Take your time, whatever it is, and don't rush it. Whether it's relationship-wise, life-wise, just take your time with making decisions and just going through life. Love, like I said, love on yourself and others properly. I would definitely make sure that my child and nieces and nephews, my nieces and nephews are really comfortable with telling me things. But having a child, you definitely want to raise them up to be comfortable in their skin, be comfortable in who they are. But I wouldn't say establish that, best friend, mommy and daughter, that best friend relationship where, I can talk to you however I want because I punch you in the throat. So, don't get exactly, don't overstep the level. But I want them to always feel that they can always come to me, be open and honest, trust me with even the little details in their life, like, oh, mommy, I was in school today, Sarah said she didn't like my shoe. Well, Sarah can go on about her business, because ain't nobody talking about Sarah's shoes. You know what I'm saying? Just be open with me. Feel the need, trust me, be open with me, because at the end of the day, like, I'm your mom, and I don't want you to have to go outside of the home to feel as though you need to talk to somebody, especially when you got your mom and your dad there. I always want you to feel like home is my safe haven. Home is where the heart lies. That's what they say. But I always want my child to feel comfortable, safe. I always want them to feel as if they're respected, their opinion is valued. They don't have to seek any outside opinions to feel as if, okay, well, I can't tell my mom and dad this. No, listen, it's a no judgment zone. Certain things I will be like, oh no, that don't mean well dad. Because tell me, for instance, example, if you want to, you shouldn't want to, but if you're like, you know what, I'm curious about trying marijuana, because that's the drug that, when I was a teenager, I would just, look, let me look. I heard weed is good.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like one of those, you know what? Yeah, like go ask me about it. I can tell you mine. What was your experience when you first smoked weed? Listen, it was goofy. It was very. I was extremely at that point. I said, you know, I don't need this high because I'm already goofy. I don't need to be extra goofy. But yeah, I just want my child to always know that you can come and talk to me. You don't, you know. And if we need to seek either higher help, which, you know, we'll go get some therapy. But I want you to always be open, honest with me, love on yourself. Anything that I can do to provide just that comfort. I want you to know that your mom is always here. FYI, speaking to my future child, when you see this interview, know I love you from the beginning. I just want you to know that.
Okay, so talk to the child that is depressed, anxious, suicidal. Have you been there, and what advice can you give them?
I can say is really utilize whatever it is that you need to utilize that helps fight your depression and anxiety. So if it's coloring that helps with your anxiety and depression, please utilize it. If it's if it's talking to someone, please utilize it. Whatever outlet that you utilize in order to make yourself forget about or calm yourself down. Perfect example. Weird, but dressing up helps me with my anxiety. Listen, I can put an outfit together in 2.5 seconds with anxiety and don't even understand why, but it helps me. It calms me. It keeps me leveled and clear mind. So all I can say is utilize what your niche is. Some of your greatest passions come from out of some of your greatest creations, and you find your passion through your darkest times. Have I ever been depressed? I have been depressed. Have I ever anxiety? Yes. I think the last time I was depressed was in my last relationship. My last relationship was very depressing. Physical, mental, emotional abuse. Oh my God. And speaking of which, people always say, oh, it could never be me. Until you walk in those shoes. Yeah. It takes a toll, I think. Yeah. The hardest battles are fought in silence. Mm-hmm. Like I said, therapy was definitely one, but my affirmation, love on yourself and others properly, was another one. Self-reflection was another one. So all of those things kind of helped me grow and motivated me to kind of let go of the past and walk into your true self. Because honestly, sitting here today and looking back at where I was a few years ago, I can say, Nicole, things are looking pretty good. You making it through, girl. You did listen. You done weathered plenty of storms, and yeah.
Like, this is like we writing the ultimate letter to our teenage self, so that the teenagers right now can have the knowledge, so they won't just survive, they'll thrive. So what is like the biggest takeaway you can say? Like, this is your this is what I have to leave with y'all.
I'm telling you, be true to yourself. When I say be true to yourself, whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you want to conquer, be true to yourself. Don't let the notions of society or or parents or friends, relationships, the whole social notion of, oh, this is what you have to be, this is who you got to be. No, be true to yourself, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. That's who's going to make you happy. If you're not happy with self, how are you going to make everybody else around you happy? Be true to yourself, you guys. And that's what I leave with you guys. It's funny because I was like, letters from my mama. I honestly didn't know who it was until Amber posted it on her page. And I was like, that's Amber. Oh. And then like just watching the episodes, and I'm like, letter to my mom. And then just watching it, continuously watching the episodes, I'm like, oh my God. And then it was crazy because I think I just invited myself on it.
No.
It was a Instagram shout out, and I was like, did I just get an invite? I was like, letters to my mama. I felt that I really wanted to, be a part of this because it was something inspiring. It was something that I actually put on my bucket list. I wanted to engage more in, speaking, but not only that, I wanted to engage more in helping women of, the youth growing up that don't really know like left or right, or that's hard, like that don't really know like who can I talk to, or because I was once that little girl who didn't have anybody to talk to. I mean, it was hard always going to my brothers. They didn't understand some of the female things that I needed them to understand. So joining letters to my mom was definitely a great thing for me to do. And then plus I love the concept of it. I love everything about it that Amber's doing with it. Is very empowering to women all over. It just it creates that foundation and the self-confidence to just be like, you know what, I got this. I can open up more. I can talk to, like, it gives you confidence in, how can I say it, and being that little girl and understanding like, hey, I'm not the only person that went through this. Like, you can hear someone else's story and be like, wow. So it's just inspiring to other, like I said, it's inspiring to little girls and just other women in general. Women empowerment. Dang. That's what it's about. All 2020.
Oh, one more thing. I did say that was the last one. Talk to the girl that's never been affirmed. Like, nobody's ever told her she's beautiful. Nobody's really speaking like life or positivity over her, so that she might be watching and we can, inspire her.
Listen. I feel like everybody is beautiful. Like they say, who dates who's popular, who dates who's beautiful. Oh, like, I feel like everybody is beautiful. Always, I feel like you are a reflection of what you feel. So if, like, I always compliment women. I don't care what it is. Like, a lot of people have this notion where, oh no, like, I'm not complimenting her. I don't want to say, oh, because her face is frowned up. I don't know. Honey, your shoes is bomb. Honey, the outfit is lit. Okay? Honey, the makeup is beat. The hair is dead. Like, just...
And you probably make them smile.
Exactly.
You turn their frowns.
It's always just, it's more to the, how can I say, it's more to the book than just the cover. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. Well, it does make sense, but it's always just because her face frown, girl, I love those shoes. She might be like, oh, thank you, and smile like, ching.
Right.
So it's the little things. Just always be a reflection of who you would want to, be a mirror reflection, if that sounds right. Like, you are who you want to be around. Reflect that. You want to be around love, spread love. You want to be around positivity, spread positivity. You want to, how can I say it? Build yourself up. Positive affirmations all the time. It's funny because my cousin and her wife has like positive affirmations in their bathroom, and I was just like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that because you know what? It's good because it keeps you going, keeps you motivated. So I would say positive affirmations and being a reflection of who you are, so mirror reflection. And just always remember, like, be you, be true to yourself, love on yourself and others properly. And yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Love is love. Spread the love.
That was like a perfect ending.